Imagine a place where, nearly 2,500 years ago, the fate of an entire world was decided. Persepolis, Persia. The spring equinox, 450 BCE. Before you rises a massive stone staircase, carved directly into a monumental platform. And up those steps come people from every corner of the empire. 23 nations, 23 different cultures. One power. Armenians carry silver vessels with griffin-shaped handles. Babylonians bring luxurious textiles. Indians carry jars of precious perfume. Ethiopians lead a rare, long-necked animal, something few here have ever seen. Every step they take is more than movement. It is a symbol. They are all walking toward one man, the King of Kings. This ritual repeats again and again, every spring for 200 years. But one day, it all ends. 330 BCE. A feast, wine, music, and one woman who changes everything. Her name is Thaïs. She rises, takes a torch, and calls for the city to be burned. And that very night, Persepolis, the symbol of an empire's greatness, is consumed by fire. 200 years of construction, gone in a matter of hours. But here is the most striking irony. The people who built this city never called it Persepolis. That name was given by the Greeks, the very people who destroyed it. To the Persians, it was Parsa. But history, as always, remembers the voice of the conquerors, not the creators. My name is Jake, and this is Jake's History Reimagined. Today, we step into the very heart of the Persian Empire, just hours before its fall. You are about to witness a city that took a century to build and vanished in a single night. 522 BCE. A Persian noble named Darius seizes the throne. Power, politics, calculation. And soon, he controls the largest empire on earth, stretching from the Indus Valley to the Mediterranean Sea, from the steppes of Central Asia to the deserts of Egypt. 50 million people, 23 provinces. He already has capitals: Ecbatana for winter, Babylon for administration, Susa for summer. But Darius wants more, not just to rule an empire, but to make it feel united. And so he envisions something entirely new. Not just a city, not just a capital, but a stage. A place where, once a year, every nation of the empire would gather to affirm one idea, that they are part of something greater. This is how the story of Persepolis begins. 518 BCE. Darius's vision is no longer just an idea. It begins to take shape. He chooses a place that seems almost perfect. The Marv-dashed plain, at the foot of the Mountain of Mercy. And what he is about to build has never been done before. From the earth, something extraordinary begins to rise. A massive artificial platform, over 13 hectares. Stone walls reaching up to 18 meters high. Inside, mud brick. Outside, perfectly cut limestone blocks. Every stone in its place. Every line carefully planned. But this is not a fortress. These walls are not meant for defense. This is a stage. A city lifted above the world, built to be seen. And the most remarkable part is who built it. Not slaves. People from across the empire. Persians, Medes, Egyptians, Babylonians, Ionians. Different languages, different cultures. One purpose. Thousands of years later, archaeologists would uncover the truth. Tens of thousands of clay tablets. Not laws, not prayers. Payroll records, names, professions, payments, stoneworkers, sculptors, decorators, even women working alongside men. They were paid in wine, in grain, in livestock. There are even records of support for new mothers. Extra food, extra wine. This was not an empire built on slavery. It was built on cooperation, and the tablets prove it. This city is not built by hands alone. It is built by the wealth of an empire. Cedar arrives from Lebanon, gold from Lydia and distant Bactria, lapis lazuli from Sogdiana, turquoise from Khwarezmia. Every corner of this vast empire leaves its mark here. Persepolis becomes more than a city. It becomes a reflection of the entire empire, a place where its resources, its people, and its power come together. And at the very heart of this city, Darius places something more than stone. Beneath the future audience hall, the Apadana, he buries tablets of gold and silver, a message not meant just for his time, but for eternity. On them are inscribed the words, "I am Darius, King of kings, King of lands, King of this earth." This is not just a title. It is a declaration of power over a world stretching from India to the edges of Europe. But there is one force even the King of Kings cannot control: time. Darius dies in 486 BCE, never seeing Persepolis completed. The city of his vision remains unfinished, like an idea waiting to be fulfilled. But history does not stop. His son, Xerxes, inherits not only the throne, but the ambition. Over the next 30 years, he continues the construction, bringing his father's vision to completion. Under Xerxes, Persepolis becomes what we remember today, a symbol of power, order, and imperial greatness. You approach the city, and before you rises a grand double staircase, wide, monumental, built not for defense, but for impact. It leads upward into the ceremonial heart of the empire. And with every step, you feel it. You are not just entering a city, but something far greater. Ahead of you stand the gate of all nations, built to impress, to overwhelm, to declare power. At the entrance stand the lamassu, colossal winged bulls with human faces. Their gaze is still, yet it feels as if they are watching every person who passes. These are not just statues. They are symbols of control, strength, and order. You pass through, and everything changes. Before you opens the Apadana, the great audience hall, a vast space covering more than 12,000 square meters. 72 columns rise like a forest of stone, each as tall as an 8-story building. Up to 10,000 people can gather here. Here, decisions are made, ambassadors are received, power is displayed. This is not just architecture. It is a tool of empire, a place where the empire sees itself and shows the world what it is. Persepolis is not just a city. It is a stage where the story of an entire world unfolds. Persepolis continues to grow, and with each passing year it becomes larger, more complex, more magnificent. To the east rises the throne hall, the hall of 100 columns, even larger, even more imposing, a space designed not just for gathering, but for displaying power. To the south stands the palace of Darius, where the vision began. And higher still, carved into the rock itself, rises the palace of Xerxes. From there, the king can see everything: the city, the plain, and the empire stretching far beyond the horizon. But Persepolis is more than stone and columns. It is the wealth of the entire world, gathered in one place. Inside its treasury are gold and silver, precious stones, fine textiles, and exotic animals. Everything that makes it feel as if the entire world has been brought together. Even water is not left to chance. It flows through qanats, hidden underground channels, an engineering system far ahead of its time. But Persepolis was not built for everyday life. It was built for a single moment: Nowruz, the new day, the Persian New Year, celebrated for over 3,000 years. And here, in Persepolis, it becomes something greater. This is not just a festival. It is the moment when the empire sees itself, when all its nations gather to affirm one truth. They are united. And then the feasts begin. Thousands of people, tens of thousands, up to 15,000 fed every single day. Tables overflow with food. The air is filled with spices, roasted meat, and wine. And what matters most, there is no divide. Even the workers, the very people who built this city, receive extra rations. The empire does not only take, it gives. This continues, year after year, until one day everything changes. 334 BCE, a new force appears on the horizon. Alexander the Great. And then, everything changes. Alexander the Great invades Persia, young, relentless, unstoppable. Year by year, he shatters an empire that once seemed eternal. And in 330 BCE, he enters Persepolis. No battle, no resistance. The city surrenders. But what happens next changes everything. The treasury is looted. 120,000 talents of gold and silver. A fortune built over generations disappears in a matter of months. Now Alexander faces a choice: preserve the city as a symbol of his new power, or destroy it as an act of revenge. The answer comes in the most unexpected place, at a feast. Wine flows, music fills the air, victory is celebrated. And among the crowd, one woman rises, Thaïs. She takes a torch and calls for the palace of Xerxes to be burned, the symbol of the empire that once burned Athens. And Alexander agrees. The fire spreads instantly. Dry cedar beams ignite like kindling. Flames leap from hall to hall, from palace to palace. Everything burns. The palaces, the Apadana, the throne hall, the treasury. The fire does not stop. It rages for days. Stone cracks under the heat. Gold melts. Persepolis is gone. Centuries later, archaeologists uncover the evidence, a layer of ash up to a meter thick, a silent trace of that night. And yet, the most remarkable moment comes after. Alexander returns, sees the ruins, and according to ancient sources, regrets it. He realizes he did not just destroy a city, he erased an idea. After the fire, the heart of the empire is gone. Persepolis fades into ruin, lost to time. Until the 1930s, when archaeologists bring it back to light and prove something extraordinary. This city was not built by slaves, but by free people. In the 1970s, some of the columns rise again, and for the first time in thousands of years, the world sees its true scale. In 1979, Persepolis becomes a UNESCO World Heritage Site. But its true meaning goes deeper. These ruins tell us something important. Empires are not built on fear. They are built on reciprocity. Fire can destroy stone and wood, but it cannot destroy history. Because the spirit of Persepolis still lives on, every spring in Nowruz. And that's where the story of Persepolis seems to end. A city built over generations, gone in a single night. But here's the thing. This isn't the end of the story. Because what happened after the fall of Persepolis changed history in ways most people don't even realize. And we're going to break all of that down in the next video. So, if you made it this far, you already know this isn't just history. It's a story worth exploring. Make sure you subscribe to Jake's History Reimagined so you don't miss what comes next. And if you enjoyed this, hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. I'll see you in the next one.